Hi everyone and welcome back to All Things Crafty, my crochet corner, and I'm Lavette, and today we are going to have episode 4 of our crime and crochet. So what we do now is we grab our work in progress and share a little story time where I tell all about a case, a true crime case, and today we have a great case, and I'll share where I got this case info from as well when it's time for our story time. Usually I'll have some type of tutorial where I'm making something special, but I have been working on a school uniform compliance button-up cardigan for my first grader. So I'm just going to finish that up today and show you how that turns out. So stay tuned and we'll get started. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this is my daughter wants to have something a little heavier than these school uniform shirts, sweaters that she has, something she could wear more as a jacket some days. So I will insert a clip of my last video where I talked about my first cardigan, because I had already started this project then, and I'll show you the panels that I have already done. And I have 2 panels done for the front and 1 for the back. And then I am going to work on the sleeves and finish it up now. So I want to show the actual pattern I'm using. And I tweaked this pattern so much, it's totally different. So it was meant to be, I'll show it here. It's meant to be a V-neck button-down cardigan. And I made it more jacket style where it closes, has ribbing around the top, and the button down. So I messed up so much on this, on the collar, that I had to improvise and fix it, and I like the way it came out. So it worked out. So we're gonna get right into our crochet with me. Grab your work in progress, your hot coffee, tea, whatever beverage and snack you like, and we can get right into our case. Okay, so for today's true crime story time, this is going to be about the murder of Roy Wilson. Roy Wilson lived alone with his new wife, Carolyn, and Carolyn's claim was Roy was found shot to death while he slept. Carolyn's claim to the police was that a barefoot man came into her house when she slept in the bedroom. Her husband was asleep in the guest room because he was recovering from back surgery and in a lot of pain. So when the barefoot guy came in, he sexually assaulted her. Then he took her gun, which she slept with, under her pillow. There was never any mention in this case why she had to sleep with a gun under her pillow. But he took the gun she slept with under her pillow, and he sexually assaulted her, left the room. She heard shots. She ran out of the bedroom and saw him with the gun in his hand. He dropped the gun, ran out the front door. She picked the gun up and shot two and fired 2 shots at him but missed, and he fled. So this was the basis of the investigation, trying to find that out, that who that killer was. So Carolyn, I'm sorry, Roy's children. Roy was married previously. He had 3 adult children. 2 of them had a rare genetic disease that they required wheelchairs to get around with, and one of his children had passed away due to that condition. And his son, he had
one son who also had the condition, and one daughter who did not. So his children were told of the murder, and they were at the hospital, and they were looking for Carolyn. She was not there, and another family member came by, and Roy was pronounced dead, and they couldn't find his wife, so they went to the house, and she was there with police giving her statement. And so sorry, I have a cold, so I'm all stuffy. I apologize. So, the Carolyn's story continues that um, she maintained her statement. So they said, "Well, you've been sexually assaulted. We need to get you checked out and examined." And she refused and stated that she had already showered. Um, so the let's see here. The son who was in a wheelchair is named Alton, and the daughter who is not is named Pam. And Alton at one time was was also living at the house with Carolyn and Roy, because he needed a lot of assistance and care. And so Roy was his primary caretaker until he met Carolyn at his job site. Assistant, he was a construction worker, and she and him quickly moved in together and eventually married. But um, Alton maintained that Carolyn was very, sweet and attentive to his father, but when his father left the room, she would be cold, mean, and distant to him. And when they announced their engagement and their intention to marry, he did not want any parts of it and refused to attend the wedding. And his sister did also. And then he eventually was able to find care elsewhere, and he moved out so that he was no longer in the home. So, um, Carolyn, after this whole incident, released a statement that a few days before Roy's murder, she was approached by the same barefoot guy in her car, forced to a second location, and was sexually assaulted. And she didn't report it because her husband was going through back surgery and in a lot of pain, and she didn't want to further stress him. But she encouraged women to speak out against sexual assault, and she maintained that, this happened to her, but she never reported it. So the children were suspicious of the wife, and the police asked the wife for a polygraph. She refused. She stated that the man used a hanger to scrape up her skin and used hot wax during the home invasion one where her husband was killed. They tried to take evidence from the home to corroborate that. None of the evidence did. No blood or skin cells found on the hanger. Um, so that was just another part of the story that she told. So, there was a life insurance policy that she had just taken out on her husband a few months prior to this incident, and she was back and forth for years with the insurance company trying to get her $98,000 payout. But the insurance company requested a polygraph. She refused, and so um, she got, after years of back and forth, she ended up getting 19,000 payout, and most of it went to the daughter. Um, so late years went by. This happened September 22nd of 1985. Um, that following year, it was found that Carolyn was still married to her ex-husband Melvin, and so they tried to arrest her for bigamy to buy time to build a case, but that charge was quickly thrown out for lack of evidence, and so she was free again. 2 years later, in 1988, his son Alton dies at 28 years old from his genetic condition, and the case goes cold after that. Then, in 20 in 2008, his daughter persistence at trying to find her, father's killer. 23 years had passed. They tried, a new district attorney came on board and tried to look at the case again. They met with Carolyn, who at this time had early Alzheimer's and lupus, um, and they tried to they tried to put together the case, and it was dismissed due to excessive delays because of 23 years after the fact. They had no new evidence. They just tried to piece together what they believed to have happened and believed that Carolyn was the murderer and there was no barefoot killer. And they just believed that she took her gun, shot her husband as he slept, then fired 2 shots out the door to look like to explain the gunshot residue on her hands and body, and that was what they believed to happen. But that judge had thrown it out due to excessive delays. Um, then there was an ex-husband, who the one who was she was still married to when she married Roy, Melvin, who came forward with police and said that Carolyn called him after the murder and stated she's about to get insurance payout, and if he didn't cooperate or if he caused any trouble, he would wind up like Roy. And he finally came out and spoke of this to the police. So at this time they had, you know more evidence. So they tried to bring charges once again for Carolyn. But at this time, Carolyn was 71 years old, suffering from Alzheimer's, and her lawyer um, argued that she could not, defend herself accurately because of her chronic conditions and her age. And so Carolyn decided to plead guilty and tell everything that happened in exchange for a 6-month sentence. So this woman got away for 23 years with cold-blooded murder of her husband. Um, and she only got a sentence of 6 months. So they took the deal in 2013. She served out her 6 months. She basically got away with murder, and her daughter, Roy's daughter, was just stated that she was just happy to finally have the truth, and you know her her punishment and her judgment would be in God's hands, and she left it at that. And so that was the story of Roy Wilson and Carolyn Wilson, the Barefoot Killer, and that was from a documentary on Hulu called In Plain Sight. Hope you enjoyed this story time, and I'll see you again for the next one. And let's check out the finished product.
Going on and it didn't come out right. So I'm just gonna seam that in. And I did another ribbed collar. Hopefully you can see that. Get the lighting better. And I just added the ribbing to that. So it'll flip down when she has it on. And then the button down. My buttons look a little uneven to me, but not that I really care. But I did the ribbing at the bottom. Nice, pretty. I think this is called a lemon peel stitch. And had the ribbing on the sleeves. And this is a size. It was really made to order, but she wears a size 6T or 6X. So I just basically did it by her measurements. And like the way it came out. Show the back. Just all the furs getting on it. And so, this is the finished project. Hope you enjoyed the case. Hope you enjoyed the crime and the crochet. Come back again. I have another case already planned out, and so I'll find something to make. I think I'm going to make some Christmas stockings on the next video, and Hope to see you again. Thank you. Just want to show quickly how it fits on her. Turn around, Jamie. And comes down nicely. Alright, turn back around. Nice job.